Greetings, Victory family. It's good to see you on this wonderful Mother's Day. A very happy Mother's Day to all our wonderful mothers out there. We miss you, and on this wonderful day when normally we come together and celebrate our mothers, we're going to celebrate you even though we're not together. I hope you mothers have a wonderful day. Remember that we appreciate you. Every one of us is here because of a woman that brought us into this world. And for that, mothers, we shall ever be grateful. God bless you, and I want you to have a special day. Today, the word is going to be directed especially to our mothers. And I'm going to speak to you on the subject of value-added woman. And I'm going to speak to you, we are continuing in the story of Jacob that we have been discussing for the past couple of weeks. And we're going to look at a very special woman that Jacob married, that bore him children and became a wonderful mother. There's many lessons we can learn from this wonderful woman called Rachel, who Jacob married. And so we're going to continue with this narrative, a woman of value. And I want to ask you the simple question as we do this wonderful celebration of motherhood today. What was it about Rachel? The Bible says Jacob loved Rachel. What was it that, despite many negatives, kept on drawing Jacob to this woman? Our text this morning, mothers, comes from Genesis chapter 29, verse 15 to 20. Let me read it for you. The Bible said, "And Laban said to Jacob, 'Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?' Now Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful of form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, 'I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter.' And Laban said, 'It's better I give her to you than I should to another man. Stay with me.' So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her." We read in this narrative, Jacob loved Rachel. What was it? The Message Bible says that, speaking about Rachel, Leah, the Bible said, had these special eyes. But the Bible, the Message Bible, I love the way it says, Rachel was stunningly beautiful. Now, I want to start this narrative by saying there were several things that we're going to learn as women of value that I want you to understand today, mothers, on this very special day. Something that we can leave for other young women as they come into motherhood. The Bible says Rachel was stunningly beautiful. But let me say this to all you mothers on Mother's Day. It's wonderful to be beautiful. But let me say this. Beauty may attract a man, but beauty will never keep a man. There are many men with women that are out of this world at home, and yet they don't stay at home. Why? Because there needs to be more to womanhood than beauty. There was something more to Rachel that would make, listen to this, a man work 7 years to take a hand in marriage. And the Bible says it seemed but just a few days. What is it in a woman that will make a man work for 7 years? Today, boys tell girls, if you don't agree to marry me by next week, I'll find another woman. What is it that keeps a man for 7 years and it seems like just a few days? There are three things I want to speak to you mothers this morning that are already mothers and mothers to be, that I find from this narrative about this woman, Rachel, that can help us today. There are three things that I want you never to forget about her. It's the words control, competence, and confidence. Rachel speaks to us about control, competence, and confidence. You see, there are many, number one, there are many beautiful unmarried women today. Because, as I've said already earlier, it takes more than beauty to keep a man. Rachel possessed something that Jacob saw, and that something, I'm going to say it over and over again this morning, is value. Rachel was a value-added woman. She added value, and when Jacob saw her, he says, you know what? I want this woman because my life is incomplete without her. With her, she'll add value. How did she do this? Verse 9 is a key verse. It says to us, she was a shepherdess. While her siblings, her brothers, and her other sisters were at home, she was working hard tending her father's flock. Listen to me. Looking after the sheep and the cattle in those days was a profession meant for men. But she was controlling, there's the word, her father's business. In other words, she was an industrious woman. She was young. Remember, Leah was the older sister. But that did not stop her. Let me tell you something. Age is not something that should stop you as a woman. She was in control. She was a woman who was hardworking. The second thing we find here was that even though, when we read the text later on, Jacob was given Leah ahead of Rachel. You know, Jacob's life was never straightforward. And even in marriage, there were complications. He worked 7 years, and what does his father-in-law do to him? He gives him the older sister. But still, even though Leah slept with Jacob before Rachel, still Jacob says, I want Rachel. Let me tell you something, mothers, on this Mother's Day. Even if somebody gets ahead of you, if you are a value-added woman, you will still be needed. You will still be wanted. He says, I didn't work for Leah. Let me say this to you, ladies. Sex doesn't keep a man. Value does. There's many women that will give a man sex, but they'll never keep him. But when you are a woman that adds value to his life, you will. Thirdly, we find that Leah bore Jacob 5 children, whilst the Bible says Rachel's womb was shut. What does that tell us? Even though she gave Jacob 5 children, still Jacob wanted her. As childless as she was, let me tell you something. There was something in Rachel, I've said it to you. She brought something to the table. She added value. Why? Because you may give a man children, but value addition is better. You can't pin a man down with kids. He can still walk away from you. Mothers, women, on this wonderful day as we celebrate you, don't be liabilities. Be value addition assets. Teach your daughters to be value added women. Titus chapter 2 verse 4 to 5 says, older women, teach the young women that they may be sober, love their husbands, and love their children. And so on this Mother's Day, as we celebrate all you wonderful mothers, teach your daughters to be girls, women of control, to be competent. She knew what she was doing. To be confident. Nowhere do we find her complaining that her sister has muscled out. No. She was controlled. She was competent. She was confident. Teach your daughters before a Jacob arrives in their lives to be value-added women. And let me say this to you mothers and all mothers to be. When you are a woman that adds value, you will be loved, you will be needed, you will be respected. May God bless all you wonderful women of God today. On this day, we celebrate you. We thank you. We love you. And I pray that each one of you will be a value-added woman. God bless you. Have a blessed day.